We're going to make fonduta. We're gonna make cheese sauce and serve it out of a roast pumpkin. The very first thing we have to do is get the oven nice and hot with the rack at center, 425, 450. What we wanna do is peel it all over. I do use just a good strong vegetable peeler on the curry squash. This is a curry squash. Then you lop the top off, of course, scoop out the insides, and you end up with what looks like a bread bowl, but it's pumpkin. So this will vary, right, depending on how long. What you want to look for is brown at the edges, the sugar's developed at the edges, but the pumpkin still feels a little firm to the touch. It doesn't collapse on you if you go like this. And you can poke it in the center and on the sides gently, not all the way through, with a fork, and if it feels just tender on the inside, you're good. So we're gonna spray this with a little non-aerosol olive oil and season it. And you gotta kind of roll it around to get it all in there with a little salt and pepper. Gently coat the outside. And you want to throw that in the oven, babe? So the dippers for this, I toasted up, just sliced on a bias. Just any stale, day old is fine, because you're making toast. Lightly toasted. While the bread is lightly toasting, see, it's not super brown, but it's super crisp. While the bread is toasting, take butter or olive oil or a combo of the two. Add fresh sage leaves. Let the sage get nice and crispy and take them out. Once the sage is crispy, throw it on a paper towel. What's left, I had a crushed clove of garlic in there as well, or you can grate it, doesn't matter. We're going to brush our toasted bread with the garlicky sage butter olive oil deal. And we just take these and do this.
Wow.
And then we just took a little sack and lined it with a bit of paper towel or parchment and pile these in here, and that's our first dip. Here, we have 3/4 cup of half and half or whole milk. To that, we've added a couple tablespoons of butter, and I might have thrown in the little bit of sage butter that was left from the toast. We temper the egg yolks so we don't end up with scrambled eggs. So, I'm going to take a little of this hot liquid and just start bringing the temperature of these egg yolks only, starting to bring that closer together. Once the bottom of the bowl, this bowl, the bowl that was at room temperature, starts to feel warm, I can take this guy and add this one to this one. And then they're married, and you have to buy them a wedding present. Then I buy a pound of fontina cheese. This is fontina valdosta. But by the time you trim the rind and dice it, you end up with about 12 to 13 ounces of cheese. And you can shred it, dice it, doesn't matter. I am going to spice the butter, milk, egg mixture with a little bit of white pepper and a hint of nutmeg. Nutmeg is going to be delicious with the squash that we're putting this in. It starts to look like you're making the pudding in the package kind of thing. When it starts to look like this, then we start in small batches to melt and stir in that fontina cheese. Look how smooth and glossy and glorious that is. Look, remember it's a double boiler, so that's hot. We take this over to the pumpkin.
Wow, that's amazing.
We have apples and pears. We have the little lady apples that you can just put right on a fondue fork. We pulled the stems out of the tops, and you can dip the whole apple. You can dip... This is a semolina bread with golden raisins and fennel. You can dip bread cubes. We have some dark bread with seeds and nuts in it. And, of course, we have the sage toast.